Welcome to the Teacher's Guide to B.E.S.T Math Tiered Instruction. This video will focus on benchmark 1.NSO.2.3, which is to identify a number that is 1 more, 1 less, 10 more, and 10 less than a given number. Before we begin, it's important to remember that in kindergarten, students already compared the number of objects from 0 to 20 using the terms less than, greater than, and equal to. Students also worked on addition and subtraction using two one-digit whole numbers from 0 to 10. Begin by showing students the models of two different numbers and ask them, what's the difference? Students already worked with two-digit numbers, so this is a great time to also reinforce tens place and ones place by asking how many tens and how many ones are in these numbers. Creating the standard form, go back to the model and have them find what is the difference in the model. Provide cards such as 1 more and 1 less so that students can practice the sentence stems. Now we move on to the tens place. So students can identify which number is different because it has an extra 10. Again, providing students with the cards 10 more and 10 less will allow students to practice saying sentences such as 32 is 10 more than 22 and 22 is 10 less than 32. It's important during this model time that you also bring back what happens to a number such as 19 when adding 1 more and 1 less. Some students still struggle on the regrouping aspect that the tens place changes because I could make a 10 with the 10 ones. Here I've given students a number and they have to complete the task. Students should be building 1 more, 1 less, 10 more, and 10 less. And again, always reinforcing the sentence, saying the number is either 1 less, 1 more, 10 less, 10 more than this number. This will later help them when we start comparing numbers. Here we're using a bottoms-up 100 chart or a 120 chart. I've given students a number to start with, and then they must figure out what the 4 numbers are. What's the 1 more? What's the 1 less? What's the 10 more? What's the 10 less? This also reinforces how to use a bottoms-up hundreds chart, that when we're adding 1 more, we're moving left or right, but when we're adding a whole 10, we can go up a whole row or below a whole row. This model, using a graphic organizer, helps them with the abstract idea of completing the same task. In the middle is the starting number, and then they have to complete the 4 components surrounding it. This is a great connection to the 120 chart as a visual. Here I've given students the numbers. They have to determine what was the original starting number. Once they figure that number out, then they can fill out the rest of the clues. Hopefully you've learned some good ideas to take back and reinforce this skill with your students. Remember that the more practice students have in the number sense benchmarks will really increase their understanding as they progress through other benchmarks as well as other grade levels. If you have a different strategy, I would love for you to share, because the best part of teaching is also sharing our ideas with others.